Hey everybody, welcome to 2ZQ Hot Takes, where we discuss issues both big and small. I am your host, the very handsome Tim Kirk, and this time I'll be talking about Aitv. From Morning Brew, today, May 3rd, 2023. Media, TV might get even weirder. Late night jokes are going to be even staler than usual. Yesterday, the shows hosted by Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and Seth Meyers began airing reruns after 11,000 plus writers from the Writers Guild of America went on strike late Monday night. Saturday Night Live is also shutting down, meaning this Saturday's planned Pete Davidson hosted episode will be replaced by a rerun. Aww. What does TV look like without its writers? We can look at the last writer's strike, which occurred 15 years ago, for clues. It got weird. Conan O'Brien filled airtime by seeing how long he could spin his wedding ring on his desk. With the help from an MIT physicist, he hit an impressive 51 seconds. Quantum of Solace was not the finest work in the James Bond series, partly because the script was never completed due to the strike. Daniel Craig tried to rewrite scenes, but in his words, "A writer I am not." Good man knows his limitations. More than 60 TV shows shut down production, leading to shortened seasons and awkward endings for series like Gossip Girl, Pushing Daisies, and most heartbreakingly, Girlfriends. I have never seen 1 second of any of those TV shows. While the boom in reality TV was underway before the previous strike, the lack of competition from scripted series helped juice the ratings. Over 31 million people tuned in to watch their crush, David Archuleta, lose to David Cook in the American Idol finale in 2008. That was 15 years ago. Looking ahead, with endless TV already available on streaming platforms, the fallout from this writer's strike will look different than it did in the aughts, and the impact on TV programming will ultimately depend on how long the work stoppage lasts. And that's ended with a dash and CC. Well, the one thing that's really weird to me is I think this might be an opportunity for Aitv to get a foothold on audiences. So far, we're seeing some AI-generated content, and also we are seeing stuff on our screens that isn't necessarily TV, but it's either AI-generated or easily made by people who are not writers. Now, if you take any classes online, like LinkedIn Learning, you see a lot of animations which are basic and are not made with anyone using a camera. There's a voiceover from the instructor and narrator, and the animations are basic stuff that's like used by Canva or Photoshop or After Effects or something that doesn't require a writer, and the concepts and the ideas are communicated and transmitted, but nothing is written by a writer. There's an instructor who's already written a course who's just reading something or narrating how something goes. Well, if you expand that to creator content that is already on YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, you name any of the social media platforms that have user-generated content. Now you can have AI-generated content. There's a guy who created a YouTube channel using entirely AI. He tried to get 100,000 viewers in 30 days. He got over 99,000, but he used AI tools to search for content and terms and music and put it all together, making an AI basically generated YouTube channel. I can remember dystopian futuristic movies from the 80s and 90s, and even Batman Beyond, where the people reading news were holographic or AI generated images just announcing the news. And now I can listen to the news on my Google Home Assistant or Alexa, and it's computer generated, and there's no person saying it. So what would be anything to stop just some sort of AI generated image from mouthing what the AI voice is saying? So news can go away, and BuzzFeed is going away, and Vice is going away, and all of those aggregators who used to do all this clickbait content that hired aspiring journalists or writers who needed to post at least 12 published articles a day to survive and had to create about 50. They're all gone. All this stuff is AI generated now. And it makes no sense. It's not true. It's incorrect. And it will become more sophisticated in short order. People who don't know or care, who are just coming of age, are going to be seeing AI-generated content. And they're not going to need to see performers or anything created by a technical crew, any props. They're not going to be able to need to see a band on a talk show. They're not going to need to see hosts or guests. They're not going to see things that we've become accustomed to. And AI can wedge itself right in there right now. And this might be the beginning of the end of what we know now as traditional television, or what was linear TV, or what the streaming services are providing. Because the costs of making all of these programs and the pay that writers are receiving as a result of streaming revenue is so insanely disparate that it just might be worth it to make simple animations that transmit information, and if they hit with a certain key element of the audience, they can expand on that. And I think that might happen. So you never know what could possibly be the future, but I think especially because of the former Google executive who quit after the recent information and news about the rapid growth of AI and how it disturbed him because it's happening so much faster than anyone expected. I can imagine that you'd see this disturbing trend, which I also said, Pornhub has reminded us that they have been innovators in tech. So when you see a lot of these things coming through, they're not coming through traditional platforms. They're coming through new, recent platforms that people have absorbed and they don't talk about too much. I mean, I don't know many people will go around telling you what they saw on Pornhub. But the users are absolutely gobbling content up. So there's a lot of weirdness going on out there. And I can see that this is just the start. And this may inadvertently create an entirely new kind of television or video or consumption or whatever you want to call viewership of media platformed content. There's also a new tool called Face Swap, and it advertises itself by saying you can seamlessly swap human, animated, and even toon faces in any video or image to create unlimited, fresh, visual content in minutes with no technical skills needed. Ooh boy. And the New York Times article referenced was "The Godfather of AI leaves Google and warns of danger ahead." For half a century, Geoffrey Hinton nurtured the technology at the heart of chatbots like ChatGPT. Now, he worries it will cause serious harm. And you can imagine the implications of just using the same basic concepts and applying them to video and putting that as a viable alternative to actual productions with humans and creative practices and creative types and best practices. That all goes out the window when you've got something that is a viable, economical, profitable alternative. Something to think about. Thanks for listening. See you next time. And as the kiddies say, peace out, human.